Hello, everybody. This is the Pocket Passer. I'm your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know I am. It is episode 20 of the Pocket Passer. I'm so excited that we have come this far this season. I can't wait to continue to provide more content for this channel. I got big plans for this channel in the future and all my other social media platforms as we keep working to get better and better content out there for all you sports fans. Thank you all so much for continuing to support if you have. And if you've enjoyed these videos, I'd love to hear about it in the comments if you want to let me know about that. But right now, we have our Week 8 key takeaways to talk about. Starting off with number one, I was right about another Seahawks game, and I love where the Seahawks are going. Their team just looks better and better every week. Their defense was bad early in the year. It has progressed tremendously. The young guys are showing out. Everything on their defense is just coming together, and it's meshing so well as the season has progressed. Pete Carroll has brought this team together and made them so much better than they were. This team has improved on so many levels. The offense started off hot, and it has not lost its fire. Geno Smith has looked exceptional, and Kenneth Walker has allowed this run game to really emerge with some unfortunate injuries ahead of him. He has looked so good offensively. The run blocking has looked really good. Everything has just looked so good offensively and defensively for the Seattle Seahawks. They keep trending upward. I had them beating the Giants. I was right. I just felt really good about the way that Seahawks were moving forward. And nothing against the Giants, but their receiving core has not looked good. More on that in a minute. But just really, really impressed with the way Seattle has looked this season. I was so wrong about them in the offseason coming into the season when I said that they were, I think, a 4-win team. That's what I felt like they were, and they now have 5 wins and are atop of the NFC West, which was in the preseason considered the best division in the NFC. Last year, they were the best division in football, and they've just looked exceptional so far this year. Number 2, even with the Dolphins' stacked receiving core, they need Tua Tagovailoa. He does so many things so well that other quarterbacks just don't do. We all look for the big flashy plays, the big strong arm, the mobility, the kind of vision that you'd expect from Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, those guys that can extend plays, the big arm to chuck it deep that they have. All the flashy stuff that fans and even coaches and GMs look for trying to determine a good quarterback. But there's other things that are just as important, and those things are when you get to the top of your drop, being able to throw the ball accurately and on time, off rhythm, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, whatever it is, that back leg, in his case, his left leg, hits the ground, he gets that full cleat in, and he rotates into the throw, and he throws the ball with good velocity, good accuracy, and good timing into windows against zone, and he leads his guys against man coverage very well. The knock on Tua has been that he kind of makes 1 or 2 boneheaded throws each game where he throws a ball that just goes either like directly to the defense or just nowhere remotely close to the receiver, and then you get the memes on social media where it says, oh, Tua sucks, blah, 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 and sure, that stuff looks really bad, but what you're missing is everything that he does so well. He gets to the top of his drop, and he sees the defense very well. He's got great field vision on pretty much every play that he isn't making a boneheaded play, which again is about once or twice a game. When he's not doing that, he's pretty much good for the entire rest of the game. All the other snaps in the game, you see him, he gets to the back of his drop, he sees the defense well, he gets the ball out on time and on rhythm and out in front of his speed receivers where they're able to make good yards after the catch because of his accuracy and timing. He does it so well, and there's very few quarterbacks in the NFL right now that do it better than him, and he is commanding that offense to high numbers, both receivers with a lot of yards. Tyreek Hill leading the league in receiving yards, and it's not just because of how good Tyreek Hill is, and because he was producing obviously when Jacoby Brissett was in there, but with Tua in there, it equates to wins because he moves the offense down the field consistently with his good reads. He just sees the ball so well, and it's something that not a lot of quarterbacks do very well. I've been very impressed with what he's done so far. And excuse me, correction, not Jacoby Brissett, Teddy Bridgewater. I knew I had that wrong. I just had to double check real quick. Teddy Bridgewater did not equate to as many wins as Tua because he wasn't able to lead offenses down the field as consistently, and that's because he doesn't throw the ball on rhythm with timing and accuracy as well as Tua does. Again, very few people in the NFL can do it as well as him. 3, Titans may be the best AFC South team, but that doesn't mean much. That division's terrible, and despite their 5 straight wins after starting 0-2, don't let yourself be fooled. 2 of those wins come against a terrible Colts team, a Raiders team that was struggling at 0-2. They then fell to 0-3. They lost by 2 because of a failed 2-point conversion to them. Titans got the win there. That was their first of the 5 straight wins. They lose to a struggling Commanders team who really have only looked promising against the Colts and the Packers. A Texans team that they beat by 7 that, again, is not very good. Another team I was kind of wrong on going into the season. I thought the Texans would be competitive. They really haven't been. I've been very disappointed with the way they performed this year. It's been ugly to watch them play football. It's been bad. I haven't watched them a ton, and I've not been impressed with what I have seen at all. The Titans are going to be humbled very quickly by the Chiefs this week. It's not going to be a pretty sight because the Titans just aren't a very good team. We saw them get slaughtered by the Bills earlier in the season because the Bills, who are a very high-quality football team, did not mess around with a low-quality football team, especially since they lost to that low-quality football team last year by just a few points. Now, moving on, number 4, Giants need a wide receiver 1 almost as badly as Green Bay does. Again, keyword almost. Green Bay needs a wide receiver 1, maybe slightly more. Neither of them got it done at the trade deadline and will now be praying that someone in that organization rises to the top and starts producing at wide receiver 1 levels. It's unlikely, and for that reason, both those teams will be first-round exits if they make the playoffs. Giants certainly in a much better spot than Green Bay, who has lost 4 straight and are sitting at 3-5 outside the playoff picture, no doubt, struggling to stay alive. They play Detroit this week, then Dallas, then the Titans, and then I believe the Eagles. It's a tough road ahead. Green Bay, I still believe, is better than Tennessee, but they certainly haven't played better than Dallas, and they certainly haven't played better than Philadelphia. They got to get things figured out now, and they have to lean on this run game that looked very good against Buffalo on Sunday night. Really one of the few bright spots we can take away. That and Green Bay's defense played a lot better in the second half after going down 24-7. A lot of ugly stuff, though. Green Bay's got to get a lot of things cleaned up. The defense is starting to lose confidence in its play calling. The offensive receivers, Rodgers just doesn't trust them. They can't get open. Randall Cobb, the veteran who Rodgers does trust, has been on IR. And Christian Watson in and out of injury. Allen Lazard in and out of injury. So Romeo Doubs has been forced to be the number 1 guy. And he's made some very good plays. Also made some big mistakes. We need more consistency out of him. Samori Toure looked good for his 1 catch for 37 yards and a touchdown against Buffalo. I've heard high praise about him out of the Packers receiving coach. If he can continue to progress, Green Bay might be able to get things turned around. But that's a lot of wishful thinking for a team that has showed very little promise so far this year in the passing game. And finally, number 5, division matchup owners continue to be division matchup owners. Browns continue to own the Bengals the last couple of years. Joe Burrow yet to get a win over Cleveland. Patriots continue to own the Jets. Zach Wilson looked horrible in that game. 3 interceptions, reminiscent of Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. This could be a repeat draft bust with yet another number 2 pick failing to produce. Or Sam Darnold was the 3rd pick, but point still stands. Another early draft pick just might be failing to produce. Zach Wilson has not been the reason the Jets have won 5 games. It has not been him, as much as I would love to say it has been, because he just looked so cool this offseason, or whatever. He just hasn't played well this year. When he did come back, he was undefeated. He was 3-0 to start, purely because that defense was exceptional, the special teams was exceptional, and the running game was exceptional. Breece Hall unfortunately tore his ACL after having a fantastic start to his rookie year, and the Jets just have not looked the same offensively because of it. They need to get things turned around. With that being said, Bill Belichick tends to have a field day with Jets quarterbacks and young quarterbacks that have not had very many snaps. Let's see if Zach Wilson can get things turned around. But right now, the common theme is when Zach Wilson has to throw the ball, the Jets lose the game because he can't get it done consistently through the air when the running game is not a threat. And finally, 49ers continue to own the Rams in the regular season. Jimmy Garoppolo moves to 8-0 against the Rams in the regular season. His one loss to the Rams coming in the playoffs in the NFC Championship. The most important game of all, of course, is the one where Jimmy Garoppolo did not get the win. Go figure there. But they just looked good on all facets. 49ers defense looked great. Offensively looked great. They were consistently moving the ball. And just a lot to be happy about. Special teams look good. Christian McCaffrey showing why it is that the 49ers traded for him. He's such an asset, especially with Deebo Samuel out. It's almost like they have two Swiss Army knives now. Christian McCaffrey can play receiver and running back, and Deebo Samuel can play receiver and running back as well. Deebo the better receiver, McCaffrey the better running back, but they're both great at both slots. McCaffrey, the first player since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2005 to throw for a touchdown, run for a touchdown, and catch a touchdown all in the same game. He looked tremendous, like I said. And I don't love the 49ers still because I just don't love Jimmy Garoppolo as good as that roster is. I think they make the playoffs, but I don't think they're overly competitive in the playoffs. The Eagles look a lot better. The Vikings might even... 49ers match up well against the Vikings. I take that back. But 49ers are a team that I think can win a playoff game, maybe even two, especially if they get to play Green Bay in the first round. I think they beat them, especially right now with Green Bay having non-existent options at receiver. Again, just really, really ugly. Their defense has to pick it up, and so does the offense. Everything has to pick it up, and they have to run the ball more consistently like they did against Buffalo. They should have been doing that all season long. If they had ran the ball the way they did against Buffalo, against Washington, and against the Giants, they would have beat the Giants, and they would have beat Washington, and this would be very different. We'd be looking at a 5-3 team, I think. Yeah, 5-3 team. We'd be looking at a 5-3 team right now. That was 2 games back from Minnesota, but instead they insisted on passing the ball on running downs, and they find themselves at 3-5 with 4 straight losses. So that's really the key there. Green Bay's got to turn things around. That's all I have for you guys. I'm going to run through my 8 key takeaways real quick. 1, Seahawks look tremendous. I was very wrong about them, but I was right about their game this week, and I've been right the last couple weeks about them after being terribly wrong to start the season. 2, the receiving core for the Dolphins, despite how great they are, they need Tua to put the whole thing together and to actually equate it to wins. 3, Titans might be the best team in the AFC South, but the AFC South is terrible. None of those teams will make it past the first round of the playoffs. Whoever wins that division is a first-round exit. They will be humbled by the Chiefs, who, by the way, I was very, very wrong about. I'm willing to admit that. I don't know how it was that I thought that a team with Patrick Mahomes, coached by Andy Reid, that still has Travis Kelce and brought in new weapons and deep threats, and has just the creativity they have offensively, and a smart defensive coordinator who always seems to get things figured out, no matter the personnel, by the end of the season or by mid-season. I don't know how I thought a team like that would get last in the division, but I picked them to, and that was my mistake. It's almost as bad as Max Kellerman picking Tom Brady to fall off the face of the earth every year since 2017, and it never happens because Tom Brady doesn't do that, and Max Kellerman's just sitting there this year probably saying, "Oh, see, I told you so," because it took him 5 years to get it right, or 6 years to get it right, whatever it is. I tried to pull the same nonsense. I have learned my lesson. I will not pick against the Chiefs in the preseason. I might bail on them if they look terrible mid-season or late season, but I'm certainly not going to do it preseason anymore. That's on me, guys. I apologize. Official apology to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and that entire Chiefs roster for doubting them, especially picking the Raiders over the Chiefs. Good God, what was I doing? That's embarrassing, to say the least. So I take that back big time. Juju Smith-Schuster is starting to get into rhythm with that Chiefs offense, starting to get more continuity with Patrick Mahomes. He's looked a lot better the last several weeks. I expect him to continue to produce. I certainly hope he does. I'm starting him in my most important fantasy league. So let's try and keep things going here. Side note on the fantasy football aspect of things. I am now 0-3 against my coaches in fantasy across 2 separate leagues. I'm in a quarterback league since I am one of the quarterbacks on the team, and I'm in a quarterback league for fantasy with all the quarterbacks on the team, and then 2 of my coaches. I am 0-2 against them, including my quarterback coach, Coach Fisher, and the running backs coach, Coach Blevins, and then in the varsity receiver and then senior quarterback league with the receivers coach, Coach Steinball. Shout out to all 3 of those guys and all of my teammates that I am in fantasy leagues with. I am now 0-3 against my coaches after getting crushed by my running backs coach, Coach Blevins, first, and then crushed by my quarterback coach, Coach Fisher, and then narrowly losing because Jalen Waddle scored 12 points or 15 points or whatever last week, narrowly losing to Coach Steinball. So I guess shout out to all of them for beating me. Good luck to you guys the rest of the fantasy season. That's all I got for you guys. If you want to check out my content on other platforms, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at The Pocket Passer. Make sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe if you want to see my content. The bell icon will notify you when I upload next. That's all I have for you. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see all of you in the next video.